Hey everybody. So about a month ago, I unboxed and tested the Apple Watch Series 3 LTE, and I liked it a lot. I liked it so much that I actually went back to the iPhone 10 as my daily driver, and that says a lot because if you guys know me, I'm ultimately an Android guy. So even though I had the iPhone 10 on me since like day one, I actually had it a couple of days before day one. I only used it as my main phone for about 3 weeks, and after that, I went back to Android. But I like the Apple Watch 3 so much, I actually made the iPhone 10 my daily driver again. I took it with me to Tokyo and to MWC in Spain, so I was using an iPhone as my main phone. But then ultimately, after about 3 weeks of that, I just had to go back to Android. I ultimately like Android more. I like to have a cleaner home screen. I like an app drawer. I like just all the different ways I can mess around with Android that I can on iOS. So I started looking into alternatives, like Apple Watch alternatives for Android, because Apple Watch does not work on Android at all. And I did some research, and I've read that the Samsung Gear Sport or the Gear S3. So Samsung has two watches. So I read that either of them are probably the best overall smartwatches if you're on an Android phone. So I decided to get the Gear Sport, which is this one you're looking at here, because the Gear S3 is just a little bit too bulky for me. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what these are calluses from weightlifting, because I do a lot of deadlifts and pull-ups. So yeah. Anyway, so I've been using the Gear Sport for about 10 days, paired with a Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So that's about like the most official pairing that you can get, right? A Samsung watch with a Samsung phone. And just decided to make this video to give my opinion on which watch is better for people who have the luxury of choosing between the two. So my opinion is that the Gear Sport, it's a pretty good watch, but it doesn't come close to the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is much better and is hands down the best smartwatch in the market right now. Because I also have the Fitbit Ionic, and I tested the Nokia Steel HR. So I've tested quite a few now. Although to be fair, I have not tested any of the Android wear. So I have not tested the Huawei Watch 2 or the LG whatever the LG watch is called. But so let's talk about overall design first. This is completely subjective, because whether or not which watch looks better is just complete opinion. So, to me personally, holding the watch like this or just having the watch on like a table, I prefer the Apple Watch better. I think it's a sleek design, and I really like. So I have a screen protector on this watch that kind of makes it look a bit bulkier than it is. If you take off the screen protector, this watch is sleek as hell. So I just like how it looks. But you notice I said on a table or in my hand. When I'm actually wearing the watch, I prefer the Gear Sport more because it's a little bit more rugged. There's a raised bezel that protects the screen, whereas on the Apple Watch, the screen is not only not protected, it actually curves a little bit, so it makes it even more likely to be damaged. So now you might be wondering, I love curved screens on a smartphone, why not on a watch? Well, because a watch is on my wrist, and I'm an active dude, so a lot of times, even when I'm taking off the jacket in a train or at home, I'm like bumping my arm onto the side of like a railing or a chair. So I feel like when I'm using the Apple Watch, I just feel like it's just a matter of time until I crack the screen because I'm doing this and it just scrapes into a metal railing at the right angle. So I put a screen protector on there for protection just because I'm paranoid, but I don't know how much that will help. And I don't want to get a case because I don't want to add like a bulky metal thing around the watch. Whereas with the Gear Sport, I feel like I actually have already bumped into something and I didn't worry at all because this thing sticks out, protects the screen. So so these two bands, they're not the official bands that came with the watch. I ordered these off Taobao myself, really cheap for like 35 RMB, so that's like $6 US. And I like them a lot because I think the original straps, I'm not a big fan. So this is the strap that comes with the Apple Watch, is silicone. And this is the strap that comes with the Samsung Gear. It's kind of plasticky. This one is okay, but the Samsung Gear strap was just terrible. it felt really cheap, and it kind of rubbed against my skin the wrong way. I just didn't like it. This is okay, but ultimately I like these bands better. So I'm just gonna put it on my wrist really quick just to show you how they look like. I think they both look good. Although again on my wrist, I'm a little bit more comfortable with the Samsung Gear Sport. Okay, so these are both watches on my wrist. So you notice the Samsung Gear is actually, this is a smaller watch from Samsung, but it's still pretty bulky. So now we got looks out of the way. How do these watch compare? Why do I think the Apple Watch is much better? So first of all, just all the little things. Raise to wake, which is pretty important for me, is just a lot better on the Apple Watch. I feel like it's a lot more responsive. It turns on every time. Whereas on the Samsung Gear Sport, it doesn't turn on every time. Maybe it's hard for me to get it to show right now because I'm doing a very obvious motion, but just please take my word for it. When I'm walking out and about and I want to check the time by just doing this, this works like, oh, that's funny. That actually didn't work now. This works like 99% of the time, like in real world usage. Whereas the Gear Sport, maybe like 95% of the time. Again, it's because when I'm doing a very exaggerated motion and I'm leaning forward with the camera, so that's why it works so clearly. But just trust me, when I'm out on the street, the Apple Watch works a lot better, which is so ironic. Right now, the Apple Watch is not working as well. I don't know how that is. So raise to wake, it's a lot better on the Apple Watch, and that's very crucial for me because I don't want to have to physically press a button or tap on something to turn on the screen. So now, after the screen is on, navigating, it's about this. They have different methods of navigating. So on the Apple Watch, it's mostly swipe based. So you swipe up to bring up the settings, and then swipe down for notifications, or you swipe right to switch to your different clock faces. Whereas on the Samsung Gear, you can still swipe too. But it's probably better to use the rotating bezel. And I quite like that when you rotate, you get a little tactile feedback. So in terms of navigation, I probably prefer on the Samsung Gear watch. I think rotating just feels a little bit more solid than a series of swipes and stuff. But then after that, the Apple Watch has better, just a little bit better touch here and there. So for example, there's 3D touch on Apple Watch, so you can hard press on something to customize, and I like that better than on the Samsung Gear where you have to long press. So 3D touch just feels a little better, a little bit more intuitive, and just feels cooler. You get a little haptic feedback when you press it than on the Gear Sport. And I also like the Apple Watch more because they just have better watch faces. So I like all my information up front. So I really love the Apple Watch in that I have the time, I have the date, I have the weather right here, and I can just tap into it to immediately see the local weather and the weather in other cities that I just visited. So I really like that, and I also like that there's like email here. I can just tap into it, and I immediately read the emails. And then the calendar, that's also important for me because I have like 3-4 different jobs. I don't have a full-time job, but I do like 3-4 different side things. So I really need a calendar on me so I can know exactly what's happening. On the Samsung Gear Sport, I have not yet seen a watch face that will let me have a calendar up front. So I have to see the calendar. I have to turn to the right. Otherwise, when I look at the front, you get the date, you get battery, steps, weather. That's it. I have not seen a face that lets me check calendar or email. And these are two very important things for me personally because I work a lot. And that kind of sums up the experience. Just Apple Watch, you just have a lot more options. There's a lot more watch faces and a lot more apps. So on Apple Watch, for example, they have useful apps like WeChat. WeChat, everybody in China uses WeChat, so it's very important to have. If you know people in China anyway. I guess if you live in the US or you live in like Paris, maybe it doesn't matter as much. And then they actually have Instagram. It's pretty cool that you actually can scroll through entire Instagram feeds on your Apple Watch. Oh, both displays looks great by the way. They're both OLED panel, about the same size. I believe this is a little bit larger. This is like 1.2 inches, is like 1.3 or something. So it's a little bit better. So I like that you can go to Instagram on this, and then you have Messenger, and then you have email. You have a dedicated email app that is quite useful, and just a lot more third-party apps that you can find. For example, I really like this this app here. This is a note taking app that's only for iOS. So you just have to tap on a button, and from here you can dictate a app. So, hello, testing, and then you can press done, and it'll immediately save. And then now if I go into my iPhone and open that same app, it syncs automatically. So let me go into it. I have the app right here. See, it's here. It's synced immediately. So I really like that when I'm out and about and I remember something that I need to do, maybe I need to buy eggs or something, or just need to send this email, that I can just immediately speak into my watch and then it's on my phone immediately. So on the Samsung Gear, there's no app that offers the same features. And on top of that, voice dictation on the Samsung Gear is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So another thing I love the Apple Watch better is when I can respond to messages right here. So if I get WeChat or WhatsApp messages, I can respond to it by voice dictation. And as you can see, the voice dictation is actually very useful. It's very, I mean, I'll show you a sample really quick. So I'll just respond to this email here. Thank you, I got your email. So you see how fast that is that it picked up? It picked up all my words and almost like with 100% accuracy, and it picked up right away. And then from there I can send. Or if I don't want to use voice dictation, I can use Scribble. So again, it's really fast, it's really accurate, and I can just send, I can respond to emails or WhatsApp or WeChat right there through on the watch. On the Samsung Gear, you are not able to respond to WhatsApp for some reason. So that's a major no go for me because Hong Kong, everyone uses WhatsApp. So I can't respond to WhatsApp or WeChat too, for that matter. So if I get a message, I can see the notification, but then that's it. I have to then go to my phone to respond. Whereas on the Apple Watch, I can respond right away. And again, even if you could respond, it'd be useless because voice dictation on the Samsung Gear is terrible. So let me show you an example. I'm gonna open up email. So you're able to respond to emails if you use Samsung's official email app. So I'll just fake respond to this just to show you how bad the voice dictation is. Testing. Testing. I got your email. Hello. So you see, it only picked up one word. I said 6 words right there. And look at how slow that was. On the Apple Watch, it was immediate, right? Okay, so it finally came through. I got your email below. So right now, okay, I better stop. So you see how that was like a lag and it picked up all the wrong words? So we'll try it again. Testing. I got your email. Thank you. Okay, so I guess it stopped. So you notice that it's slower and it actually picked up the words without error this time. But in my testing, a lot of times it just doesn't pick up. And then, so voice dictation on this is terrible. So one more thing. The Apple Watch runs, you can ask Siri questions. And you know, Siri, it's not perfect, but it's actually pretty fast and kind of accurate. So check this out. I can talk to my watch to get information, you know. What time is it in Barcelona right now? So it picked up right away
Barcelona, Spain.
and
It's
answered right away.
11:06 a.m.
Where's the nearest McDonald's? So you see, it works immediately. So now Samsung Gear, it uses S Voice, which is terrible. It's so terrible that even Samsung ditched S Voice on its phones already. If you, the Galaxy S8 and S9 runs Bixby, which is Samsung's new voice service. So for some reason, Samsung didn't give this watch Bixby. Instead, it still uses S Voice, which is so shit that even Samsung did away with it. So, what's the time in Barcelona? See, an error has occurred. I'm unable to answer your question. Why? That was a pretty basic question. What's the time in Barcelona? Where's the nearest McDonald's? See, so it either won't pick up, or even when it picks up, it'll usually mess up. If I say where's the nearest McDonald's, it probably won't be able to answer and tell me like all the nearest McDonald's nearby, like the Apple Watch just did. So that's like two things that really kills the Gear Sport for me. One, you can't respond to messages at all, and two, even if you do respond to stuff, the voice dictation is absolutely terrible. And as for battery life, both are about the same. Neither watch will last me 2 full days. I've read a lot of reviews that claim they can go 2 full days. I don't know how they did it. With me, it's a little over 1 day. So I can, if I unplug my phone, if I unplug the watch first thing in the morning, I can go that entire day. When I go to sleep, it'll still be alive with like 40% battery. But then by the time I wake up the next day, it'll be down to like 30 something, and I'll go to lunch, and then by like 2 or 3, it'll be dead. So definitely cannot go 2 days. You need to charge it every day and a half. Just about every day, really. Battery life is about the same on both. So now that's not to say this watch is complete trash. It's waterproof, so you can take it swimming and everything tracks automatically. And it can track your heart rate and track your sleep. And tracking sleep, I find it very accurate. It tracks it automatically too. Unlike the Apple Watch does not track your sleep automatically. You have to download a third-party app that costs money to track your sleep. The app, it's like $2, so it's not a big deal. But the fact is, you have to pay money to download a third-party app just to track your sleep on the Apple Watch, whereas the Samsung Gear will track your sleep automatically. And then there's also the fact that Apple Watch only works with iPhone, whereas the Samsung Gear works with any phone. I've tested this with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, the LG V30s, and also the iPhone 10, and it worked. It worked all the time, except Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay will only work if you're on a Samsung phone. So that means if you're not on an iPhone, then your best option is still this, even though the Apple Watch is much better. The Apple Watch is definitely superior, but you have to be tied to Apple's ecosystem to use this. So that is why, even though I like this watch better, I'm still going to be wearing this most of the time because I am on an Android. I am not on an iPhone. So that's the dilemma. So Apple, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, but if you are, please make the Apple Watch available for Android, because I love your watch. I want to use the Apple Watch, but I don't want to use an iPhone. I like Android better than iPhone. So that's it for my quick comparison. Thank you for watching. If you care about all the heart rate sensors, step count, they're both very accurate. I also have a Fitbit Ionic, so they all numbers about the same. You know, pretty much fitness features. Both watches are good. It's just the smart stuff like notifications and responding to emails and searching stuff on the web. The Apple Watch wins. Thanks for watching.